Got a buddy over.
Drink enough water. I drink gallons and gallons of water. That just goes straight in. I would let you go. Yes, and time. I'm gonna try to get my dad. You don't take care of yourself. No, actually, more about it. I've worked construction for 30 years, 40 years. Thursday. I'm off Friday, but it's graduation.
Alrighty, it's 5 p.m. and I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Alrighty, we'll begin with the pledge. If everybody will please stand. Dr. Barber, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright. We have no delegation, so we'll move directly into reports, and we'll start with Rosie the Riveter.
So I had a group that went to Arlington, Virginia, and they are with us this evening. Mr. McKinley Buckley, Mrs. Ronnie Facemeyer, and their students. They attended the Rosie the Riveter Carillon bell ringing, and since they are the Rosie the Riveter classrooms, I'd invite them to come up and share what they have learned.
All right, we prepared just a quick PowerPoint, and
Mr. Buckley has an amazing video. And then if you want to talk to the girls, we have Maria Mincy and Alexis Ayers. Those are the two sixth graders that came out of my classroom that went with us. We had two sophomore girls that went and also a senior. And I think Tommy has actually written up something that he wanted to share with the board, but he couldn't be here tonight. So.
He got me here for sure because of your trip. He wasn't sure what to do.
They just rolled in.
Yeah.
They just rolled in.
He's written a wonderful statement.
Don't you mean drug
Priorities.
in?
Yeah, priorities for sure. This is just something quick. I got a big kick because of course, all kids napping on the way. I said, I have to get pictures of everybody napping on the way there. And the girls were like, don't show the pictures of us. I didn't show the one of Mr. Buckley because all I see is the back of his head. So. Getting ready, we arrived at the hotel about 1:30. We left shortly after. We literally, 20 minutes, all us girls were out there ready and waiting on the men. So we were ready to go. Because we are the very first Rose of the River classroom, we have set a standard internationally, and new classrooms are going to follow in our footsteps. We've dedicated classrooms to Rose of the Rivers and all that they did for our freedom and helping the Allies win the war. So we actually got invited to actually start the ringing bell ceremony for the Rosies. Kendra Fox was the very first person to ring a bell for Rosie when she was only 7 years old, back in 2015. So they invited her to come back with us so that we could ring the bells for Rosies. It was a pretty cool experience. I don't know if you know her, but she's very shy. Oh, some of the pictures too are Tommy Spada's work also. He's our senior. His plans in life are to be a photographer, and he does an amazing job. But yeah, so she's really nervous, but I'm so proud of her. She did a great job. There's the group that went. As you can see, we have some of our Girl Scouts from our local chapter here that came as a group, and then we came separately, representing Gilmer County High School. We all just kind of met there and worked together, celebrated together. So it was kind of a cool experience. We could all be together. I'm going to skip over that. That was a video, but he's got a better video. Oh, that's a video. Better video coming. So the students, what they did while they were there is they handed out bells. We brought our bells from our classroom, and also Ann Montague. She's the lady here. This is Ann. She kind of spearheaded this whole thing to kind of get this movement moving. Her mom was a Rosie, so she kind of wanted to start this because we are losing Rosies. They're very old, they're dying. And we want to make sure that their legacy continues with our youth, especially because we want to make sure that it's not lost through history. They got to hand out bells. Some of the girls were out handing out bells. It was really cool because when we first got there, they had, the reserve seats all had bells, but as the droves and droves of people came in, they didn't have bells, and we still had some left over. So the girls went, and they were like so nervous. I said, I don't know I think we picked the 4 shyest girls in all of Gilmer County to go. I was like, come on, girls, just take one. So these people are so happy to get a bell, and these kids, I was like, see how happy they go. So this was our Rosie the River table. It says the Rosie River. That is actually a plaque that hangs above mine and Mr. Buckley's classrooms. We also have a very nice plaque within our classrooms hanging on the wall, if you ever want to see it, it's on our wall. So this was her, this is a lady, her mom was a Rosie. She's actually 103, she'll be 104 this month, and she was supposed to come, but she was kind of under the weather. So her daughter came for her as a representation. She was super sweet, and the girls, they all got to talk to her, as you can see here. She was kind of she had little flyers to show them and tell them a little bit about her mom. It was pretty cool. So. Here's pictures more by Tommy. The one on the left, when I announced Kendra, everybody started clapping, and even the princess, this is Princess Marguerite from the Netherlands, she turned around and everybody turned around and laughed and clapped. And I just love that picture. I love that. It's my favorite picture taken. There's also, the Netherlands actually have their own pictures, and they have one of these two fist bumping, and it's fantastic. So she did actually get to take her picture with the princess. Just some other sites. So the next day we stayed and we took the kids to DC, and they got to experience DC. All of them, I think Maria had been there when she was younger for a cheerleading competition, I believe, but none of them had actually been there before, so it was a really great experience for all of them. So these are just sightseeing pictures. They had it was just a great experience for all of them. The Vietnam Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and then this one is specifically for women. for allowing us to go. It was a fantastic opportunity for these kids and not one they'll ever forget, I don't think, so. That's the end of my presentation. That's like the only picture I got of all of us together, which is kind of funny. It's like, one of us is always behind the camera, so.
So we do have a short video. I say short, but it's like 10 minutes.
It's fantastic.
That's short in my book, I guess. You're gonna see some of the things she's talking about. You're gonna hear the music. All the music you hear at the beginning is all the music from the Carolyn, which was, if you've ever seen one of those, they're super cool. I mean, it's a big bell tower essentially. They play it like a piano, and the Carolyn, I guess in the Netherlands, almost every town's gonna have one of those. And so you hear Princess Margaret, you can't hear her very well in the video, but she says it reminds her of home, right? It's all, if you go to somewhere, a town in the Netherlands, and they have a Carolyn, you say, okay, this is my hometown's Carolyn, it sounds like home to me. And so the fact that they gave that to the United States and gifted it, and President Truman accepted it after World War II, was a momentous occasion and a symbol of unity between the two. So you're hearing the Carolyn, you're gonna hear America the Beautiful first, which is kind of cool to hear that. You also will see some of the speakers. You'll see our very own Ronnie Basemar, who is sandwiched in between the Deputy Superintendent of the National Park Service and then the Ambassador from the Kingdom of the Netherlands to the United States. So pretty big deal to be sandwiched between those two people. You'll hear a little bit from the Princess as well. Marguerite, you can't hear her very well. We have this really loud generator beside us, so we did the best we could with you. And you'll see some sites as well afterwards where they go around, and you'll see some interesting video of them enjoying DC. And I do have a statement from Tommy Spade, who cannot be here whenever our students do speak, that I'll read to you. He wrote a very, very beautiful statement about his time, what it meant to him. But I want to cue the video for you. Like I said, about 10 minutes.
To be a part of the American Rescue Worker movement gives us an opportunity to celebrate the women who took charge and made change, helped to bring our allied forces back home safely. I think it's an amazing message that women can do anything that they set their minds to, regardless of status or race or anything. You can come from any background and work together, pull together to make a difference. I get to have an opportunity to be a part of this movement, as well as being a part of history, and not letting our youth especially forget the Rosies and the impact that they've made on American history.
The Rosies inspire me to just keep doing what I'm doing, like photography. Well, including a message that just who you are, you can help anybody.
We are too. We know they deserve more recognition. And we are doing our best to get their statue over at the memorials by the Road Memorial. Hopefully we get that done in your lifetime.
As stewards of the National Park parks, we want to create interest and engagement by providing stories that inspire people of all backgrounds to visit and care about these treasures now and future generations. Teacher from Gilmer County High School from Glenville, West Virginia. Last fall, our school rang bells for Rosie's to announce that we had started an international effort to name school rings for Rosie the Ribbon, with millions of American women who did various jobs to help allied nations to win World War II. I'm going to take a moment. I would like to introduce Kendra Fox. Supporter of the American Revolution. Kendra was the very first person to ring a bell for Rosie. She was just 7 years old in 2015. Today, before we enjoy the more music with beautiful symbolic bells of the Carolyn, we will ring our hand bells to celebrate both the important legacy of the Rosies and our friendship with them, etc., along with our troop, our Girl Scout troop 10123. They're going to lead us in the ringing of the handbells to celebrate our Rosies and the legacy that they leave us, which is for all kinds of people to pull together and to keep and advance our freedom. After we ring, we will do 30 seconds of silence.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present the second political institutions of Health. This Carol is a symbol, scoreboard, Netherlands.
My country, Netherlands, almost every village or town has its own story. They all belong to the past. All the people recognize each. Parents make it. They unite. This marriage was a gift from the people of the country to the United States. It is an expression of our heartfelt gratitude. That we celebrate nationwide every year in May, when we commemorate victims of the war in the Second Republic.
As a history teacher myself, like this was an awesome experience, a once in a lifetime experience probably, to bring back this information to my kids that I teach world history with, to say that I was within reaching distance of the Princess of the Netherlands, awesome experience, and the partnership that the Netherlands has with the United States. And just
your favorite part of the trip?
Up here so that people online can see.
My favorite part was talking to like the Rosie's like daughters, because there was like a lot about the stories and stuff, and it was just cool to learn about that.
Great.
I'd have to agree.
Well, I'm sure it was an exciting time.
How about DC? What was your favorite part of DC? The monuments and things like that. Did you guys learn anything there?
A lot. Alexis is the girl of few words.
What was your favorite part?
DC?
Yeah.
There was the World War II monument.
Mhm.
It was like there was stuff about all the wars and like on like everything, and you can just like read about them. And it was cool.
Nice. Well, I'm very glad you all were interested and that you went and you got this fabulous experience.
Absolutely. We would like to get a picture with the board and you guys and so on, if we could get that for our Project Connect stuff. Is it good, okay?
We'll do that right now.
Read the statement that Tommy wrote.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not to read it. This is from Tommy that he wrote because he could not be here. He said, as a photographer and even as a student, I've had my fair share of finding meaning in many things, but not every opportunity presents or reveals itself right off the bat. Sometimes you must wait. But as of last year, I've been introduced to Thanks, Plain and Simple Incorporated, and the organization behind the American Rosie Movement. Most of us may know the importance of the Rosies back in the war days, but even now they are still fighting, inspiring, and keeping on going. They have a strong message of persistence and being together. My time in DC was a time of learning, but also fun. Learning can be fun, and it's fun to learn. The biggest thing I've learned with the Rosies is that if you're passionate or part of something good, spread awareness, or just help make history, by sending a message of strength or love, you can do anything. You are never limited. The only thing that limits us is us. As for what the Rosies and the trip meant for me, it means a lot. The Rosies helped us win the war, and that alone should be known. But back in a time infested with racism and sexism, they paved the way, and they are still going out. I'm super amazed and proud to be part of such an enlightening group of people, bringing great opportunities to students and teachers, and sending such inspiring messages. Going to DC wasn't just a fun little trip, it was an experience to see from people all around, celebrating alliances, talking about ways to change the world, and talking politically without taking offense. And even though I just stand around and snap some pictures, I observe everything. Everyone at that Freedom Concert was there for a reason, and whether or not that reason is taking pictures, giving a speech, or putting snacks on the table, it wouldn't have worked out well if everyone wasn't united. So to all the Rosies, to everyone else sending a message, hoping to inspire, or just trying to change the world in a positive way, thank you. I believe we have the power to continue a legacy of being united, working together, and strength.
Great.
Thank you.
Tom, you're winning the thing. That's very good. Yeah, so could we get a picture with everybody? We'd really like to highlight, and you too as well.
I'm gonna be the photographer.
Give them somewhere.
Put them in front.
Hillary won't bite them. I promise Hillary won't bite. She won't bite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to hide behind that target.
All right, is everyone looking and smiling?
You have to smile, Alexis.
Yes. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you all.
Well, we want to thank the board for providing the making it possible. I think this is the perfect example of when you see what you read in the book come to life, and it's well worth the investment.
Well, I still have very fond memories of trips that I took as a student at Gilmer County High School. And so those trips, those memories last a lifetime. And I think that's a very important part of education, is experience.
It goes beyond the building and beyond the book.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'll continue under the report section, and up next we have Mr. McCormick with the Coyote Beautiful Bistro at the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be invited up here and to be able to address the board.
We've had a very successful year down at Coyote Beautiful. It's been a lot of fun. Among other things, we did our first 2 television broadcasts. We wrote a grant and made a TV recording kitchen in our test kitchen. And the students learned all the equipment. They worked with Mrs. McCormick's digital imaging class, and they put out 2 television shows right at the end of the year, and we're hoping to do a lot more. Nice. Also this year we had the opportunity to compete again in the Hospitality Cup. We won it last year. We were hoping to go back and win again. Unfortunately we came second. We lost by 0.18%, so we were very disappointed with that. But we were glad to compete, and coming second was a great deal of fun. Daisy Snyder was both the head chef of, she's a Gilmer student, both the head chef of Coyote Beautiful Bistro, the simulated workplace, and also the captain of our Hospitality Cup team. They actually went there as a 2. It's normally a 5-person team, but with some of the things that happened through a school year, we were limited to 2, and it was very impressive to see that team of 2 go out and compete against teams of 5 and do so well. But I'd like to thank the board for the support that Gilmer gives to the Career Centre and specifically to my programme. We have so much fun down there. I'd love to invite you all down and for you to enjoy what we do at Coyote Beautiful. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't have a question, but I went down to the linkage meeting, and they prepare a fabulous meal, and it was really nice, you know, to see the different programs in the simulated workplace, and you know, the things those students are doing down there, and I was really appreciative of getting that opportunity.
That's one of the things we've had the opportunity to do more of this year. We were doing a lot of functions, and even though we were travelling all over West Virginia doing meals and conferences. And then COVID shut us down. It's taken us a couple of years to get back going, but I think this year we had 19 booked functions, so that was really, really good, very exciting.
Yeah. I was very impressed with the Career Center when I was down there. I like the way you all work together, and you know, real life experience where you have different aspects all coming together to put things on.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things we find is because we do a lot of project-based learning, you can't really do a project just within one classroom. Right. So you often find 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 or 5 classrooms working together on a single project to make it successful.
So important in life, you know, teaching them that skills of working together and networking. And
yes, absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
I wanted to highlight one more thing. Because I asked Mr. McCormick to come up to highlight his program, because I think it's an extra special program that we have to offer to the kids. But you also were the Pro Start Teacher of the Year, correct?
That's correct.
And I think that's notable here in front of the board, because that's a pretty good accomplishment. I wanted to give you a thank you. He also feeds me very well. You know that I fast on Mondays and Thursdays. He feeds me on Tuesdays, and believe me, it's well needed.
Why, thank you very much. And I always like to add that the reason why I was able to get the Educator of Excellence is because of the hard work, not just of the other employees down there, but the students. We get some really fantastic students down there, and they make all of us look very, very good. So thank you for the faith you've shown us by allowing us to teach your students. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, we will move on to the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so been properly moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Alrighty, we will move on to new business. Letter A, discussion of end of year staff celebration. Dr. Manning.
We're going to have an end of the year staff celebration on May 30th at 10 a.m. at the GSU Ballroom. All board members are encouraged to attend. We'll be focusing on highlighting our staff and their continued efforts towards the students in Gilmer County, getting back to giving out service pins and so on and so forth. We have many donors, local folks from each school that we would like to highlight as our outstanding partners in education. and really want to take the time to end the year celebrating all the success that we've had this year and highlighting the hard work that our staff puts into our students and our system. So I encourage all of the board members to come to that event and to participate, and we will also be having community members there and all the staff there. So that's just an update. We want to try to get back to celebrating the staff, celebrating the students and things after COVID, so that's going to be one of the steps that we'd like to take.
Okay, alrighty, we'll move on to letter B, window armor. You go.
As you saw in your packet, we have a quote. We have two different quotes: one for $14,001 and one for $10,463. I recommend moving forward with the project and creating a projected timeline and funding allocation for that amount to start after our current SBA facilities project. We have a lot of projects going on, and I talked to Mr. Frazier today, and we would like to be able to have the authority to give this the go-ahead once we get to a certain place with those projects. We think it's an important project, and we want to make sure that we have it and have it ready and so on and so forth. But we have a lot of irons in the fire at this point in time, so we'd like to go ahead and get permission to move forward with that timeline at our discretion when we kind of are in a better place there with those other projects.
I don't know if the public remembers what the window armor was. It's like basically metal plates that protect the glass part of the doors if there were someone trying to gain entry into a classroom, like an active shooter. Then you can cover that window so it can't be broken out and they can reach their arm in and open the door. So that's what the window armor is. I make a motion.
Additional safety measure.
Yeah, it's just an additional safety measure. I make a motion to move forward with the window armor project with a flexible timeline to start after the current SBA facilities project.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to move forward with the window armor project after we complete our current SBA facilities project. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, we will move into old and unfinished business, Gilmer County Elementary School storage building. Do you have anything for that, Dr. Bennett?
We're still working on the details of the storage building.
Okay.
That's going to be something that we're at the final last 2 or 3 weeks, and honestly, we haven't got to do the follow-up meetings that we would like since the last meeting.
All righty, so we will move out of old and unfinished business and go into personnel.
Under service, I recommend making the motion to rescind the reduction in force recommended by the superintendent for Frank Postaway at custodian, Gilmer County High School, and rescind the RIF of Randy Poland, custodian, Gilmer County High School.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the superintendent's recommendation about the service portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead.
Under the extracurricular section, Austin Ratliff, assistant varsity football coach, I make that recommendation, and James Huffman, auxiliary varsity football coach, I make that recommendation for hiring those folks.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation about the extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion of that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Alrighty. That finishes up personnel. We'll move into continuous improvement, and we have star data. I believe that's probably Mrs. Mason.
You all received the update in your packet regarding the STAR data. I also included the iReady data. You'll note that the GSA data is blacked out just because that is still embargoed. So that will be shared at the first of the school year. I'm not going to read over the data points, I am gonna mention just a few things to clarify. I did add the county's goals on the data form. For reading, the goal was Gilmer County Schools will increase reading proficiency from 39 2/10% to 45% by the end of the 2023 school year. And that again is according to the GSA data. And again, that's still embargoed, so we really can't talk about that. But that is the reading goal, and then if you would flip over to where it introduces math, I think it's 3 pages over in your packet, you'll note that the Gilmer County Schools will increase math proficiency from 24 9/10% to 30% by the end of the 23 school year. And again, that's according to the GSA data. We do have the GSA data back, and we are actively looking at it for school improvement efforts. Again, we just can't share that. Just a little bit of an explanation as you go down through. You may have some questions regarding kindergarten with reading and with math. With kindergarten, when we assess kindergarten, we do the early reporting system or the early learning out of STAR, and the early learning assesses the math and the reading. It's kind of together. We do not do a second benchmark for them. We do a first and we do an end of the year, just because of their age. They're 5. So we only benchmark twice for them. In first grade, you'll notice that the data, there's the early learning and then there's the STAR reading. And again, when we look at our STAR reading, we only assess the kids that are ready to read. There are reading passages and they have to be able to read those. A lot of kids do come into kindergarten ready to read, but a lot do not. So those that are not ready to read still are taking the early learning portion of STAR, just to see where they are. Once they score a certain percentage, then they have to take the STAR reading. So when you look at the participation rate in first grade, you'll notice that it's pretty heavy on the early learning at the very beginning of the year. Once they pass that early learning, then that number is taken to STAR reading. So the same thing with the end of the year, you'll notice more kids are actually taking STAR reading because they are moving from that portion of still sounding out, trying to figure out the sounds, to being able to read the passages. You'll notice that there are subgroups that are broken out, specifically just because of our county and the subgroups we have. I only focus on the low SES special ed, and then I also split out what we do for Title I to ensure that Title I is effective with our students. So you can see first benchmark, second benchmark, and where they went third benchmark. You will see the elementary at the front part of the packet, and then at the last part you'll see the high school. It is important, and we develop our goals for the GSA because, I mean, that's our accountability measure. But it's also important to also look at all grades, and that's why I've included all grades on this. Any questions?
Thank you, Shelley.
All right. Hearing no questions, we'll move on to the superintendent's update.
Okay, got several different updates. Of course, we just had a goal-setting meeting, so reaching some of those goals are going to be what we're trying to do next year. So it's good to hear those types of things, and our focus are going to be to try to meet back and have annual discussion about all of these types of things. Reminder to the board meeting, we're going to have a special board members. We're going to have a special board meeting on May 30th. That's to approve Gilmer County budget. Update on.
We're gonna have a board meeting May 30th?
May 30th.
I don't have that one.
Yep, it'll be a special meeting, May 30th.
What time?
5 p.m., right? Is that what time it's scheduled? And that's to approve the district's budget. The end of the year teacher celebration, that's just put that in on your calendar. That's May 30th as well at 10 a.m. I'll skip over my administrative council because Dr. Barr said he's got an update on that. So I will say this, they have a lot of really good programs to offer students 6 through 12 this summer for summer programming. They got a carpentry class, and the reason why I want to highlight that is because they are helping us redo our boardroom, and they have already got the new board table built for us, the framework done, and we're going to, you'll see in the next month or so, this painted and new boardroom things created by the students of Gilmer County Career Center, which is really good. This past week, I attended the Bowles Rice Signature Series and learned a lot about new policies and legislative policy requirements. And of course, the major topic on everybody's mind was Policy 3035, the House bill with the third grade literacy promotion. So we're all trying to figure out how to post eggs and how everybody else in the state's going to do it, and so on and so forth. Just a quick update on the animal processing classroom. We've had many different obstacles pop up that were undocumented through change the as-bills and different things on blueprints, and we're currently working through that process, and we do think we have a way to get the grease trap into the ground, and hopefully by Wednesday the hole will be dug and we will have a process put in place there and continue work on that. Just a quick update on Project Connect. We have been meeting. We have a Gilmer County Schools Facebook page connected to our Apogee app. That's new. We're starting to get some viewers, some followers. I'm not using the right language. Followers. We're starting to get some followers on that. We're making some posts there. Mr. Buckley's got the high school count getting ready to be integrated. Mrs. Fox has got the elementary. You're starting to see some posts come out. They're here covering the events tonight. That's what the picture and the Rosie the Riveter stuff. So hopefully you'll start to see all of those things start to come to fruition. I appreciate their hard work. That stuff takes a lot of time and commitment to create the content. It's very nice to have that. Reminder that we have graduation. We have graduation coming up. It's Friday. So make sure that set that aside on your calendar. And as far as our updates coming forth, you're going to start to see these weekly bulletins shrink down a little bit because a lot of we're coming into the summer months. So I will still keep you informed on a weekly basis. It's just not going to be a major.
Time to take a breath.
It's time to take a breath. That's right. We got some OS days coming up that are greatly needed, and summer's coming up, and I think that everybody is ready and excited for that. And as far as our work session today, all of the things that we need to stay on for the summer would be some of those things that we needed to do to make sure our board effectiveness is up to date for the beginning of next year. We also are planning a board retreat. This would be a time period where our principals, our administrators, our district office, and you guys all work together. We're looking at July 20th and 21st at the golf course. We're trying not to be in the news like all the other folks around the nation for really expensive board retreats. So we're trying to go as cheap as we can, and Shelley and I talked today, and we're thinking that that's a really good, viable option. It's very, very affordable, and we can get together for a couple days just to review our goals, get everybody focused for the year, and get planned out for the kickoff of our new year. That's all I've got.
Alrighty, then we'll move into board member comments. The only thing that I had for board member comments is I attended the 5th grade ceremony this week for the 5th grade students going to the high school next year. That was a very nice ceremony, and something that I think we should continue each year for those students. Anybody else? Dr. Barr?
Just some notes regarding the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center. The senior appreciation ceremony went very well. The ceremony used to be in the evening. It was during the day this year. Administration was a little apprehensive about the decision, but more students were able to take part in it, and younger students were able to kind of see the process. So I think it was decided that they'll keep the ceremony during the day. Ms. Ferris discussed some summer camp opportunities at Calhoun Gilmer Career Center. There are flyers for each county as well as online registration. These flyers were emailed to students and put on social media. It has been decided to discontinue the law and public safety program as numbers have been moving down over the past couple of years. They decided to discontinue that program. And then Mr. Stearns shared with us that we are partnering with Minnie Hamilton to offer an adult certified nursing assistant, offering certified nursing assistant classes that are going to be funded by Minnie Hamilton. So information will be forthcoming about that. Also, I wanted to mention that last week I attended a great band concert at Gilmer County High School under the direction of Brittany Kutsinis. It was a wonderful performance today. I attended one choir and band concert under the direction of Judy Leggett, who also did a wonderful, wonderful job. The kids were very into it. And it was just a really, really great week of music for Gilmer County Schools. Now that we've got this great partnership between Miss Leggett and Miss Kutsinis, we've got a great elementary program, we've got a great high school program. It's difficult, though, when you've got one music teacher that's got to teach all the standards 6 through 12. And you got one teacher to do it, but you can only stretch them so thin. But Daniel Reed has worked some magic, and I am very excited that beginning, I believe, next school year, middle schoolers will be able to enroll in band as a class year-round. So I think that's great. I think that will greatly help that bridge between the elementary school and the high school, and really kickstart the band program and the music program here at Gilmer County.
Great.
So I'm very, very glad to report on that.
Cody and I attended the FFA banquet Friday night, which is always a big time. They always make a big production out of the end of year FFA, and of course, recognize all the hard work of the kids, and especially the parliamentary procedure team, who brought home a second in the nation. And Mr. Cox was able to present Miss Butcher with the plaque to go into the school's Hall of Fame, I guess. I also attended the 5th grade graduation, which of course my son was graduating 5th grade. That was a very nice program, and it makes the kids feel special. It's a nice recognition of them and of their families, not killing them to that point. So it was a good time, and it's nice that they have it.
Any further comments?
There's one more thing, and you remind me, we've worked intensely on the schedule, and I was trying to find the email, but Mr. Reed sent me an email last week that said that Rachel Clutter reported that with our new dual credit enrollment program that we have more dual credit enrollment than we've had ever, and that in the spring semester, Gilmer County High School will be having more dual credit than what they did in the fall. So we have the largest dual credit offering that we've ever had with our AA program and the rollout of that AA program. We wanted to do this big AA ribbon cutting ceremony. We just haven't got to it, guys, but we have the kids starting to enroll. Miss Butcher, it's a very large program. A lot of the kids are taking part in the dual credit program.
And we have some students who are taking classes from Mobile State, and I think they started yesterday or today, depending on what they are. So they're busy.
Well, I think I told you all this, but that will allow Kara next year as a senior to have 5 of her 8 classes as dual credit. So, I mean, that's a big deal. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big deal to parents in the community moving forward, that their kids will be able to not only receive the associates, but take a lot of reduced costs, a lot of lower cost classes that will help them.
And speaking of costs, it was $25 a credit hour for the summer, which is nothing compared to. So that's kids could go into college as a sophomore when they graduate high school. So that's a great benefit to our kids.
It is.
All right, have anything else? All right, do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.